Yes, sir. Yeah. Views from the edge. What up, world? Jagged Edge in the building. Y'all already know, man. We back at you, man.
Episode
One more
what?
week. Episode 7.
Come on, man.
Episode 7.
Come on.
7.
What's up with it, B. Jeezy?
Man, how y'all feeling this week, man? What y'all been up to?
Bless, man. Bless.
God is good, man.
So
we still here, right?
Say that again.
Thank you, Lord, since we at it.
Nah, for real. For real. Let's start right up with what's been going on in Atlanta, man.
Oh, what's up?
Just 2 weeks after people were murdered in a Colorado grocery store, a man was arrested right here in Atlantic Station with 6 guns and body armor. My question for you guys was this just a copycat who was stopped before he could do harm, or do you think this is part of the government's plot to take away guns from citizens?
Probably.
Yeah, but
I comparison. I'll put it that way. I gotta be honest, man. Shit, we can stand to have some guns taken off the street, man.
Yeah,
our shit is out of control.
It is.
And I'm a gun owner. I ain't gonna lie, but you know what I mean. To make this shit a little safer, I get that shit up
for real.
If everybody say, hey, let's do it, I'm not gonna be the one fighting it.
I give up them. I give up one of mine. I'm just playing.
I give up one.
You gotta tell them everything.
I tell you. Here you go.
I give them a little something. Right. You already know.
Hey, give up my AR now.
That's probably what you got to give up. You got to keep a little handgun, but you got to give up the assault rifle.
Tell me something, twin. Tell me something.
Off the street.
Give me some direction.
Yeah, man. But also, I think, man, they definitely need to pay a lot more attention to like mental illness as well, man. Because like somebody, like all the copycat stuff, I'm thinking like, okay, they've seen this, you know what I mean, and just tried to react it out, like, bro, but. You know what I'm saying? Like that has to be more mental than actual. Right. I don't. You know what I'm saying?
But I think though they got to stop doing that though, where everything with us it's a label on it.
Right.
Whether it's drug, whether it's the war on drugs or black on black crime or whatever. With them, it's he was having a bad day. What they said about old boy. How about we address the fact that over and over and over, almost every time there's a mass shooting, it's the same people that look the same. Right. That's all I'm gonna say.
Correct.
That ain't our thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you got so many labels for the things that we do to ourselves and to each other in our communities. You should have some type of a label for that shit because it happens over and over and over and over. And you should be able to address it as such. You know what I'm saying?
We just crazy enough to show up with the guns. We even do that.
I know that.
Hey, we gonna show up with the gun with no bullets.
I ain't gonna say we ain't gonna do that.
You right? No, I mean you right. You definitely right.
But check this out. Cause I'm not a big fan of rap like that.
Okay.
I think it's kind of I'm
Tell
older.
yourself.
I'm just saying straight. I'm just not a big fan of today's rap. I'm 45
today's
years old.
Rap.
Blues.
And, but I heard this young brother say. He said, "Ain't nobody fighting no more. I'm gonna fire your ass up."
Yeah.
He said, "Even if I win, I'm still gonna fire your ass up." I was like, "Damn, you gonna beat him up and
kill him."
I mean, but that's how even the young folk.
Yeah, that's the mental.
But that's why I say, bro, we can't expect to see something different if we ain't willing to do something different.
Right.
So when I say like I'm willing to,
absolutely
trust and believe, I'm talking about if you get them to do the same thing.
Right.
I ain't talking about us just give our shit up.
We be crazy.
But I'm just saying, like, we can't expect to see something different as long as this gun culture is such a great culture, and like we could tone the gun culture down a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, but see too, it's like you asked that one day. Is it something going on with our people where it's like the same things happen to our people over and over and over? And I said you got to look at the curses. I think some kind of way we as a people gotta really investigate why us. Why us over and over and over and over? Why we in the same positions all over the world? Why our communities look the same all over the world? Why we treated the same? Why do we treat each other the same all over the world? It's something bigger to it than just niggas and drugs and money.
Right.
It's something bigger to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think at some point we got to look at the spiritual aspect of it. You know what I mean? That's just me. You know?
My greatest fear with the guns, I feel like as Afro-Americans, we are behind the curve. Obviously, we were allowed to get guns later.
We did very late.
And
we catching up. Like, but see, this is what I'm saying. Regulation, right?
means everybody.
It means everybody. And then we ain't got to worry about who's off a little bit, who's, you know what I'm saying? Let's regulate it to the point where getting a gun is a hard thing to do.
Right.
It ain't about that absolutely no one should have one, but we should make it much harder to get one. You know what I'm saying?
It's just I think a lot of people that are in power, like the NRA, you know what I mean? Like I think they're like it's hard to pass regulations because the majority of the people who's you know, at the top of the NRA, they're avid gun owners. Yeah, and they have power. Like they're, you know, what I mean, they're judges and this and that.
But my point is, how many times as an American, can you wake up and see mass shooting here? I mean, I'm telling you, know, and still not say to yourself, what the hell is we going to do about this problem? Right. Like, to me, it's like we just say, because the gun culture is such a great, thick culture in this country, it's almost like the human aspect of it, we just say, fuck it.
Right.
But you can't tell me when you turn on the news and see another mass shooting that you don't feel some type of way. I do every time I see one.
Two mass shootings.
So it's something we should do about it, not just keep talking about how sad it is and how bad it is.
Right. Powerful. Let's get into some meat and potatoes, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Y'all know I'm coming with it. Come on. Old Town Road singer Lil Nas X.
Wait, hold on. Hey, now you know.
There we go.
No. Look, I made a post about it.
Yes, you did.
And you know, people been reposting it and all stuff and ice cream combos and all that. So, you know, for me, you know me, I'm gonna stand on it regardless. But so my post said this because people try to make it one thing. You know, I'm addressing everything we do that comes from our oppressors, right? Like the last time we talked about how we have pain and can't share that because of things we went through in slavery. Like our men being raped, right? Our children being raped, our wives being raped. These things happen right in front of us and we couldn't do shit.
Right.
We don't understand that some of those same things have affected our decision making as far as some of the traits that we carry right now. We don't understand why it's so rampant, and it started back then, right? So my post was about the spiritual aspect of it, and it was about, you know, speaking as us as a people, not just necessarily singing out Lil Nas X, because he's part of that's a microcosm, as they say. He's part of a bigger issue, right? And his decision making is part of a bigger issue. Yeah. So what I said was this. I'm just give you a little bit of it. I said, this is what happens when you don't know who you are nor who your God is. Now, some people got mad, hit me, like, how you going to say he don't know who he is? It wasn't about him individually not knowing who he is. It's about us as a people not knowing who we are, where we really come from, and why we in this condition all the time, right? So I said, this is what happens when you don't know who you are nor who your God is. We are not heathens, because we're not. Heathen means to be of another nation besides Israel. I tell you every week that we the Israelites, right? That's all heathen really means. I know our family members have used those terms forever, like you heathen, but it's not really referring to
heathen
right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I said we are not heathens. We have no business taking wicked shit that people have made us believe is okay and trying to take it to another level. And I said it's like we're in a contest to see who can be more wicked and more rebellious against the Most High. So the scripture I went with, it says 1 Samuel 15:23, for rebellion, because people kept saying to me, well, he's just trying to cause controversy. Well, if you're trying to cause controversy through being rebellious, I gave him a scripture on what the Bible says about rebellion. And it says 1 Samuel 15:23, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. First of all, these images that he used was idolatrous images in the first place, right? Then it says, because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king. Well, the Bible says all the time, right? We're kings and priests. We're supposed to be kings and priests. That's who we are, right? But it says, all right, so then it says, the Bible also tells you what to do with a witch and what to do with witchcraft. Exodus 22:18 says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So I was saying the Bible said plain and simple about the dangerous games that we playing, but we don't understand that the way we live is not following in the ways of our God, but following in the ways of our oppressors. So my whole point was just that. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So the whole thing about the colonizing, it's the same people, number one, and we don't understand how much their behavior has seeped into what we are, and it's got nothing to do with us. It's got nothing to do with our heritage, nothing to do with our culture, nothing to do with our God. You know what I'm saying?
It's like when I brought it back to the black girls doing porn last week. It's the same exact thing.
the whole culture of even making satanic worship look cool, that's not us.
That's not us.
That ain't us.
That ain't us.
So, and that's something we've seen in American culture for
years,
decades. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, like he said, it all goes back to, like I said, we were imported over here. And so many of the ways that we see as normal are their ways. What he's saying is absolute. It is the way of the oppressor. And we're so comfortable with it that we think it's ours. We think it's us, and we think we are of that, and we not.
Real talk. Let me give 2 facts just to kind of support, so we can fill in for the listeners. One, following up, Nike has denied any involvement.
I knew that. But I knew there was something funny about that. So that wasn't really they shoot.
No.
He just took a
one
Nike,
person designed Nike,
designed how he wanted,
666 pounds,
and just sold them
of Satan Nike.
Right.
And now Nike is suing that company.
Exactly.
Because you know what I'm saying.
The company's called Mischief, by the way.
Yeah, because they just used they really just blatantly used it.
Another fact I want to give is the shoe priced at $1,018 sold out of all 666 pairs.
They make 600-something thousand on this one.
Yeah, 666 pounds.
Yeah,
it's sold out in 2 hours.
Nike suing them for it. He's going to get that and more back.
And more. Yeah. Because
to pay legal fees.
Stupid.
Let me tell you something. My opinion is just this, man. I think Lil Nas X might be in some. Because I mean, if he endorsed that, I think he might be in some type of depression mode because of, and it might be because because of the lifestyle he's chosen or
that's
whatever.
What he said.
Like you can actually, not say it's rich people who are depressed.
Right.
Say that, Wingo. Say that, Wingo.
Right. They like, you know what I'm saying? So what it looks like from the outside is not necessarily what it really is.
Right.
And I just think,
and that's all I'm saying is that all I'm saying is that whole bag. Sometimes, just like we got to examine other parts of ourselves as a culture, right? As a nationality, as a heritage, as an ethnicity, whatever you want to call it. You got to understand where even those things that make us think all this shit is okay come from. It ain't from us.
Right.
But we had these things forced upon us for so long that, of course, sooner or later, it's just like when I was a kid, my mom forced me to eat certain things that as I got older, I just kind of kept eating them. I kind of liked them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
After a while, right? So it's the same with some of these practices and things, and I don't want to get into that because that's a whole nother bag, and I know that's a whole other sensitive topic for people. Right. But I, you know me, I'm gonna hit you with the I was in one of the rooms, and somebody had posted something, and she said she was basically coming for who was coming for Lil Nas, and she said something like, after all these years, because gay people have been oppressed, which I'm sure they have. I'm not even trying to get into that, but because of the things that gay people have gone through, the fact that he's able to even sit here and make this is an accomplishment in the journey, which it probably is if you're a gay person. That's why I said I'm not even gonna get into that part. Right. And she ended the post and said something. I said what I said. And I'm a God-fearing woman, so I came up on that post and I said, what we got to understand is God-fearing and God followers is 2 different things.
There we go.
Let's tell you this though, and that's real. Just because you have the instinctual, innate fear of the Creator, that's not the same thing as I'm a believer.
You better preach.
But
I like that.
The Bible say the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge and wisdom, right? So if you really adequately fear Him, it's certain things you're not going to be out here doing.
Right.
If you adequately fear Him, you fear that judgment and that wrath. Our people don't really fear the judgment and the wrath enough.
Right.
You know
Can I respond
saying?
to that 1 second?
Go ahead.
As a DJ, y'all know I do that in my career.
Right.
When I hear something that I know is demonic or devil, and as a DJ, I'm supposed to just play that music
Anyway.
I don't play it, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
But I want to say this. Hey, hold on, Wingo.
Because spirits.
Your spirit.
I don't need that coming out my speakers in my house.
But look,
it's real.
But look what's happening. The image and what he's doing, ain't nobody with it. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, how can you look at the devil and think something is right with that?
Yeah, something cool.
Something cool about it.
Cool about
I mean, the man got horns coming out his head. Right. You know what I'm saying?
He got the devil behind him.
The devil behind him.
Right. I would discuss. The whole story was basically that he kills the devil and then becomes the devil. That's why he wearing the horns, because he kills the devil and then takes the devil's hand like he's the new devil. Right. Even that. Why would you want to glorify that?
A devil.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It really is. I'm gonna say this, like, when he first came up,
You know, like that song was so huge. Yeah. And I seen up under his post the other day. Right, Jordan Lucas said something like he was disappointed because, you know, so many kids love Old Town Road. And Lil Nas X chimed in and said, I was literally talking about lean and something sexual. So if you had your kids listening, you was stupid in the first place. Which he right. You know what I'm saying? Adultery. Which he right. But I made that point to say this. In our culture, we got, especially since we the ones getting older, you know what I'm saying? Somebody has to gatekeep around here. You know what I mean? Somebody got to say what's right and what's wrong, and not worry about the repercussion. Right. And in all honesty, if that's what God wants from us, I'm sure none of us ain't scared to do that.
Right.
But even if it ain't us, like that's how we got to start to think. Right. We can't think like we just gonna let this shit run off the tracks like a runaway train. Right. Somebody got to put this shit back on the right track.
That's right. And I'm gonna say this too. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody said to me, something about judging and condemning them. I said, well, the Bible says that he said, right, but that's all I'm gonna say. So it's not like it's no chance for Nas if he repents. Number one, right? But they said something about judging, and I said, well, he said a saint is just a sinner, right? I said, well, honestly, that's not the definition of what is a former sinner. I said, honestly, that's not the definition of saints in the Bible. The Bible tells you the saints is a certain people. That would be us, right? Mm-hmm. And it says that the saints
judge the world.
It absolutely said the saints going to even judge the angels. Yeah. So how much more things of lower matters than that, right? So my point is that people think that we're just trying to condemn. Even for somebody to point something out, that's just called rebuke, right? So with that rebuke, if you take that and you repent and you turn around and make that right with the Most High, you got as much of a shot as anybody else.
And you got till the last day.
Absolutely. So that's all I'm saying. Like, don't feel like because you get a little rebuke sometime that it's just no. That's the Most High probably sending you that rebuke. Let's be real. And you got to take that in good standing and say, well, what should I be doing with this? You know what I'm saying? Right, so it's not like it's no chance for Lil Nas X. That was never my issue. I'm not condemning him to hell. I don't even believe in hell. So that was never my issue. You know?
I don't even think you're a bad guy. You know,
Me either. I don't
That's why I say I don't even want to get into that side of it, to the subjective side of it.
Right.
The facts are this. There is a heaven. There might not be a hell. You know what I'm saying? But there is a God.
On earth. We in hell right now.
I understand, but there is a God, and there is at least a for lack of a better term, a code to the way we supposed to walk and live. And we can't, like I said, just let it go so off track that we're okay with that, and nobody's trying to fix that. That's my only problem.
Brandon, you all right with me, dog? Let me just say that, man.
You stupid.
This is the last part I want you guys to respond to, and we're gonna compare his imagery and how he's doing this to one of my favorite rap groups of all time, Bone, who had a song called Mr. Luigi.
Mine too.
And like a 3-6 Mafia.
Right.
Is this is he doing the same thing just in his time, or is this more intensified?
It's a little more intensified, but it still can fall in the same category. But like I said, somebody asked me about that, and I said, well, number one, 3-6, that's our homies, to be honest with you. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And at the same time, the same thing I'm saying about now, if they repent for what they did, they could be absolved of that as well. But at the same time, we was all in a different place back then, right? We was kids. They was kids. He's a kid.
Right.
At some point, I hope that growth that comes with maturity and just getting a little older will make him see, you know what, that's not the shit I should be doing. Same thing I wish for 3-6 Mafia. And like I said, they're my homeboys.
Because hey, Juicy J Daddy is a pastor. So you got to imagine what the ridicule his daddy was going through.
I didn't even know that.
His daddy got a church, brother. Like he ain't got no storefront. His daddy has a church with a choir, a deacon board. So you got to imagine the ridicule that his father was like. But what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, but see, you know what? It's you know, in my mind, this still really goes back to. We live in the land of our oppressor, and this is a capitalistic society. So along the way, black people have adopted the mentality that whatever you got to do to get the money is okay. And it ain't. You know what I'm saying? It's not. There are repercussions. You is gonna have to answer for the things you're doing out here.
Right.
So
that's right.
And I said the same thing. Like this go back to the 60s and 50s. This go back to even the 80s with Madonna. She was doing things for controversy's sake.
Right.
Same thing he's doing for shock value. And instead of people there's many people who come from this R&B culture like us, and just music in general, who say, I'm just gonna make a dope ass song, put a good visual with it, and sell it that way. You know, if they don't like it, hey, I'm gonna come up with another one. Right. But to try to sell people on, just awe, shock and awe, as they say, that shit, you can pay a price for that, man. Yeah. So be careful with that.
But you know what, though? I mean? It's a saying. How does that saying go? The road less traveled. So anyway, my point of even making that point is this. When we came out 20-something years ago, and I heard my brother say this in another interview. I don't remember who he was talking to, but when we came out 20-something years ago, the radio was really dominated by a lot of sexual songs. Yeah. You know what I mean? From Keith Sweat to R. Kelly to a lot of the R&B acts. Yep. Right. And we made a conscious decision. And I'm not saying this to pat us on the back. I'm just trying to show you it's another road to take. Right. And at the end of that road, there is light at the end of that tunnel.
You can feel better about it.
And you can feel incredible about it.
And have your own lane.
I feel incredible about the fact that as young 18, 17, 19-year-old niggas, we chose to take another road that people wasn't taking. And that road has fed our family for our whole adult lives.
And we're still here.
So sometimes we look at, like he said earlier, what's glittering in our face, and we grabbing at that. Right. But it's that little path that ain't so lit that'll get you lit at the end of the time.
I like that. Right. Piggybacking off of Young Black Excellent Groups, yesterday marked 30 years of the 5 Heartbeats movie.
Oh, yeah. That's one to be a group.
Hey, let me give you this story. When we saw that movie, we looked at each other and said, man, we gonna make it. We gonna make it, dog. We gonna make it. I mean, we felt that movie, so yes.
For real. That's what's up, man.
Though we skipped school to go see it.
We sure did.
but you know what I'm saying? We knew when we sitting there watching, like, it hit us all at the same time, like, hey, man, we can do this shit.
We can do this.
You know what I'm saying? I remember
this, yeah.
Yeah, man. So
because we was already doing that kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like we was in our mother's bedrooms and garages rehearsing, and we was doing that shit. So we was like, this the road right here.
Baby.
Yeah, I love the imagery that movie gave, and just speaking to the black groups.
I think, man, we ain't talking about this, but I think, man, and we got to figure out how do we honor this, man? I think Robert Townsend has been so great for our culture.
Yes, he has.
In so many different ways that he never gets the respect that he deserves. Yeah. Man. So I'm a shout.
What up, baby?
RT.
Daisies.
That's what's up, man. Let's pay these bills and come back with our music and money.
No doubt.
Do it.
Boom.
Boom. We back, y'all. Yeah,
we're gonna get into this music and money portion of the show.
Music and money, baby.
But before we do that, BG say that. Come on, BG.
Okay, well, my bad, BG. You know what I mean? Me take food out your mouth.
No, man, you got to slap that honey bun out of your mouth like that.
Who we got today, y'all?
Oh man! Our special guest today is Miss Raiche.
What up?
How you doing? She got a new song burning up with Ty Dolla's, a remix called "Pick a Side."
No doubt, crazy.
And we're gonna get into her music and all, her whole background in just a second after we do this money and music portion of the show. Right?
Well, this is it. This is
we running it together. You know what I'm saying?
It's all
multitask, man. Multitask. That's the word for the day. Multitask.
I'm telling you. Well, guess what? I got the first question, Raiche. How did you get started, and where you from?
So I'm from Massachusetts.
Beat to Boston, Roxbury, baby.
New England.
What up?
New England, right? Right next to Springfield.
What up?
My grandfather's from Hartford.
No doubt.
I started music in Roxbury. Well, I lived in Roxbury. I graduated high school, and then I moved to Boston, which is 2 hours away from where I'm from. Okay. And I met a DJ. I was just out at a club. I was underage, whatever.
all of us back then.
Tell on yourself.
Tell it. Inspiring.
Tell it. It is what it is, right? But I met a DJ, and we just kind of created a friendship over a span of a year and a half because I was a little suspicious. Okay. And because people tell you they're gonna do things for you all the time, right? So, anyways, we gained a friendship, a trust, and I met up with his production company, which was in Roxbury where I was living. And it was funny because I put in the address and it was literally 2 minutes down the street, a studio, and I was like, whoa, it just felt meant to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how it usually happens.
So I went down there, got my little Uber or whatever, and I signed immediately. They were they were really cool. It was a Berkeley studio. It just felt really good, and I was excited. So
that's dope.
I signed, and then I worked with them for a year, Genre Defying Entertainment. And we just created first a complement of an EP of covers, and and then we did like a couple like originals and stuff, and those got into the hands of Prince Charles.
Okay.
Because my DJ that found me, DJ Knockout, he was DJing for 7th Streeter, and like he went to Coachella and ran into Prince Charles or whatever, because Prince Charles writes for Rihanna, Beyonce, Mariah,
Stuff,
right? And so he heard my music and was like, I'm looking to sign somebody, and it was like towards the end of my contract. We flew down to Atlanta, and he met me, and I sang for him, and we wrote a song together, and he loved me, and he wanted to sign, and so I signed then from an imprint to Atlantic. So Genre Define, Island Prolific, and Atlantic Records.
Let's go.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
No doubt.
That was a ride.
So
It really was, though, like real time.
So being from Boston, which, you know, because originally we're from the area, I know that it's rich in a lot of different cultures. Like, what was your main music, or not necessarily main, but what were your musical influences growing up?
Okay, so here we go. So I was sheltered. You know, my parents we went to church, and my mother sang on the worship team, and it was like a non-denominational church, non-denominational church.
Right, there you
So
go.
there was a little bit of everyone and everything, but I didn't really listen to a lot of secular music then.
We didn't.
So if I did though, I would go like with my sister, where we would listen to the radio, or my aunt in Springfield, and she listened to you guys a lot.
Oh, no.
Shouts out to Auntie. Auntie got taste.
So it was just Christian music, you know, like
Right.
gospel, like Kurt Franklin, Mary, but then also like hill songs. My mom's white, my dad's black, and
that's it.
That's it.
yeah.
That's good. No, I mean, we kind of started the same way.
Right.
Actually, me and my brother, we started out, we could listen to secular music. Then my mother got saved, and for about 4 years, we couldn't listen to no secular music. We was doing it though. We was sneaking and doing it anyway. But you know, as long as she didn't hear it.
Right.
So no, our story is very similar to that.
We would be like cleaning our house. My mom would do chores, and my parents or whatever make us do chores. We'd listen to like MTV or whatever, and we'd hear their car door close, book it downstairs, change the channel real quick, like yeah.
So my question to you is, was you ever ridiculed by doing secular music after a while, like, you know, just
By
your
the church
parents,
folks?
by the church folks, or even your parents?
Yeah, not by my parents. My parents are very supportive. You know, they know my heart. They know who I am. You know, so does God.
Right.
And
Amen.
but
Say that, Ray.
But them church folk.
But yeah, no, I did have a situation with one church lady who did not like what I was singing, and it was like Money Pies or whatever. And I mean, Money Pies, it's not about like one of my first songs that I ever put out. Like, it's very kid friendly. It's just light.
Right,
Like,
real
you know what I'm
light.
saying? I'm not talking about like worshiping money, or it's just talking about working hard for for
And she had a
supporting
problem with that.
yourself
She had a problem
for
with
your
that.
dreams. Yes.
Man, what's her name? We finna.
Leave that lady alone. Leave that lady.
What is her name?
So being from where you from and how you came up, do you feel a certain responsibility with your music in terms of lyrical content and stuff like that?
I did really heavy in the beginning. Like, I didn't want to say anything too crazy and stuff. Like, even this was the first time I swore was in Pick a Side. It was S-H-I-T shit.
No
whatever.
doubt.
Right.
That spells shit.
Yeah. That's it.
Sugar, honey,
Right. I even said that in a song, too.
Oh, wow.
Right. But, I don't know. I think that, I guess it's a touchy little subject, but I don't know. I know my heart, and I don't feel that I'm saying it out of like a rebellious, crazy, like crass type of way. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I talk about love, and I talk about real life situations and stuff. So
that's good.
And that's
us.
That's what it's about, man. You know what I'm saying? Follow your heart. You know what I mean? Your heart will always lead you to the right.
A question people always asked us was, if you had a chance to work with any artist in the world ever, dead or alive, who would it be?
there's so many people, but because he is dead, I think Michael Jackson. When Drake did that song, Don't Matter to Me, I just thought that was like the most epic twist. And I would love to do something crazy like that. Also, I know somebody who actually has like Elvis, unreleased Elvis songs or whatever.
What?
And she said that I could.
You want to run these race?
That's a gold mine, man. It's like anything else makes so much money. Like, why would you sit on that?
Right.
You better put that out there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that'd be cool to do a little remix as well.
That it is, though.
So, how long have you been? I mean, because I listened to your music and I felt like your sound was real mature. Like, how long you been doing this?
Honestly, I haven't really been doing music too long, but I've been singing since church. Like, I've been singing since I was like 7 years old. That's when I realized I could sing. I had my first little solo. I played an angel or whatever.
There you go.
I stepped down and everybody was like, oh my God. I was like, oh.
I did that.
Look, I'm not
Hallelujah, I did that.
I'm not gonna lie. That's what did it for me as well. I did my first little solo at Elizabeth Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Woke up this morning, my mind it was said on Jesus.
All right now.
And get what? After just seeing the reaction of the older women and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
I'm so
You've been a whoremonger.
Okay.
I'll be here, mama.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you, Lord, because that was not my reason. Starting none of this. I don't about no women.
Sure was. But I mean, coming from the church, I think all of us share that same story. You know, my first solo was in church. I mean, like Wingo, Brandon Bryan. You know, we all.
Our first solo was a duet, though.
Yeah, it's a duet.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
What was that?
I ain't gonna let nobody try to turn me around. Turn me around. I ain't gonna let.
Right, so I was a duet, bro.
And we sang every line together. Like, it was great. Like, you couldn't have did no ad lib if you wanted to.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, do you have a date for the release of the album, or are you just gonna drop singles and then?
Yeah, we're putting some singles. I actually got word that I just recently re-recorded my song "Complicated," and I think that one might be going out too. It's a little more radio friendly. It's a little bit tighter and quicker and upbeat a little bit more, and it's dope. Like it's really good.
Do you have is the main body of your work from one producer, or do you have a bunch of different producers?
It was for a little bit of time, and I just recently signed with Sony, so ATV, and I've just been really working with.
Shouts out to Sony.
Yeah.
Which you know, Sony is a great system for female artists. I ain't gonna
They
lie.
are.
They are.
They
go
hard.
one of the best in the world. You know what I mean? So you in a great place.
I feel that way too.
So are you currently in a relationship or anything?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Great answer.
Should I have answered that? Should I have asked that question? No? Should I have asked that? I didn't get that memo. I'm sorry. Okay.
Politically correct.
I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, no doubt.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, check this out. I have another question. What do you see yourself in 10 years?
I just see myself creating real good music. That's it. I just don't want to ever stop evolving with time.
Right.
And I really respect I feel like every artist says this, but honestly, I really truly respect Beyonce because she just keeps
You deserve that respect.
creating new stuff, and it's just always fresh.
Right.
And I want to stay there. I want to keep doing that.
Right. I mean, Beyonce, she definitely, she one of the best to ever do it.
Right.
We known B since she was 16. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right,
So
right.
I seen that evolution,
Right.
from the genesis. You know what I mean? And it's pretty incredible.
It is.
Let me jump in here, guys. As 20-year vets, and not necessarily on the creative music side, but what advice would you guys give Raiche when she starts rolling in these big bucks, or necessarily in the creative direction? Just any advice or gems that you feel like she should have in her
Watch
pocket.
the bucks. Watch the money, man. Because a lot of times when we get in those positions at first, we just putting, we kind of delegating it to the people we put in place.
Right.
But you got to watch them people too.
Yeah.
Perfect example is this. We had a contract one time, and we said to our lawyer, make sure that whatever you got to do, it's a loophole for us to get out this bitch.
Right.
When it came time to get out, it wasn't no loophole, and come to find out he was in bed with the person who we was trying to get away from. But we didn't find this out till down the road.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, even though you put people in place to handle your business, you got to watch them even closer.
Right.
And it's a lot, but it's necessary. It's necessary.
And I would say, too, especially since you brought up Beyonce, is when the money starts coming in, don't get comfortable like you said you didn't want to do. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you have a tendency to say, I worked so long and now I'm just going to enjoy it. And you still at the beginning of your career. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid of that work that comes with making yourself evolve and go higher and higher and higher. You know what I mean? So,
Thanks. I like that.
And keep God first.
Yeah.
Boom. Keep God first, man. People out there putting blood on their shoes and shit and
Oh gosh.
titties and stuff. Horns. Devil horns.
And I have one last one. Just at the end of the day, just like Brian was saying, don't be afraid of the work. But there's never a dumb question. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Always ask. If you don't know, ask. Right. You know what I mean? And if somebody you just like what he's saying, you'll pay for not asking. Right. And if you know someone in your camp doesn't know, you'll find it outside of the camp. You know what I mean? But again, there's never a dumb question. So yeah.
We proud of you.
No doubt. No doubt.
Flowers.
Give her the flowers already.
So you guys be sure to download, stream on that Pick a Side remix right now with Dolla. Anything else they should be checking for right now, Raiche?
No, just maybe follow me on Instagram so you can stay updated with my life and what I'm about to put out. And yeah.
What's that?
Tell us your Instagram.
So it's at
We all right.
April.
So my Instagram is at my name is Raiche, and so is every other platform that I have, TikTok and all that, and it's spelled Raiche.
That's what's up, man.
And I want to say too to your label, like, you know, come with the album. Being single driven is fine, but there are people from other generations who prefer to get a body of work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
So come with that whole album. Man.
And I want to say this too, man, because sometimes I feel like younger artists don't realize how much money they leave on the table by alienating older people.
Yeah.
The older people gonna spend money on you.
Sure will.
Like, so, and I'm just saying that to say that in creation, when you are creating things, just keep them in mind. You know what I mean? Like, some things, just the nature of what it is will alienate an older crowd. And if that's what you want, cool. That's you know, nothing wrong if that's what you want. But understand the older crowd buys records.
Right.
You know what I mean? They spend a lot of money on music. So there you go.
That's good stuff. 100%.
That's what's about. Let's pay these bills. We're gonna come back with these wild card
Let's go with it.
Let's get it.
Wild Kyle.
Come on with it.
Bad, yeah. So we back, man. Raiche is gonna hang out with us for these wild card questions with my boy Wild Kyle.
Yes.
This is where we just get questions submitted from the fans, and we give Kyle a first crack at them.
That's right.
But everybody chimes in, including you, Raiche, if you got something.
I'm telling you.
First one is from Michelle from Milwaukee.
Michelle.
I think we had a similar question, but I don't know if it was this specific one. And it says, if they made a Jagged Edge biopic, what actor would you want to play you?
Denzel. Somebody just asked me that.
Denzel. Even though he's 60 something.
Well, get what? Wenzel for me.
Wenzel.
Oh man, I never even thought about that like that. That's crazy.
I don't know no twin male actors.
But I think it would have to be like most of these biopics where the actors are unknown. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the biopics we seen, the first time we saw that actor was in the biopic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I think it would have to be like that. I think.
Nobody got anybody in mind just off the rip.
No, man. I don't know nobody black bald head with gold teeth. You know what I'm saying? So
you weren't always black bald headed with gold.
Are you right? My baby pictures.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
That is.
I think they would have to do some special effects and probably one actor to do the twins and just
let them do some CGI like that social network movie.
Yeah,
that was your one to do. I ain't know that the whole time I watched it. I just found out the other day. I ain't know it was one.
Which movie?
The Social Network.
About Facebook.
Yeah, was it? Is it Facebook? That's what it's about. Yeah, it's Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. Right.
Okay, dope. Next up, this comes from John from Philly. Why do women try to play with their man's butts in completely heterosexual relationships? The shit is not cute or funny.
Listen, it ain't funny or cute.
First of all, hold on. Who's asking this question?
Right.
John from Philly. John.
Hey,
John, you was a gutter ball.
Hey, John.
Get your mind out the gutter. You gotta talk to your woman.
I will answer this.
Get in here, Raiche.
Get him, Raiche. Come on, Raiche.
I don't think she mean playing with your butt like.
Yeah, because
I think
it's just funny. I honestly think it's hilarious. It's just playful and
just
funny
slap him on the butt
because of how tight y'all get.
You damn right. You damn right.
So that's what it is.
But you know what? Hey,
I'm getting tight. I don't care.
I ain't gonna be. No bullshit. When I was with my daughter's mother, she used to do that. Like, I get dressed for church. She be like, "Pow, boy, you look good." I'm like, shit. You know, I mean, you know, but I took that as, you know, like she said, we had that relationship to where a basketball player, you see it all the time, they smack each other on the head.
Right,
good shot, boy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it all depends because I mean,
I just think when you say play, it's the way you posed it.
You need to talk about that.
Yeah, you said slap me on the butt, right?
Yeah, you say play in your butt. I say play with your butt.
See, I don't know about that.
Ain't no playing with the butt though. You know what I'm saying?
Even when you
Slap on the butt, that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
on the head.
My wife does that to piss me off at times. She'll pop me in the butt and
Yeah, that's okay.
I ain't never had a girl do that. I ain't gonna lie. I never had no girl.
Yeah.
I'm too alpha, I think. I ain't never had no girl slap me on my butt.
Yeah.
I don't think I like that shit either.
So Miss Casey, I want you to try it if you listen.
Who's Miss Casey?
Who is Miss K. Rock?
I didn't know. I just went with the
I'm just trying some shit over there.
Throw that thing.
All right, next up, we got Bridget from Baltimore. Ooh, she says, Brian, was it just me, or did you and Shanae, from what she said, have a little extra chemistry? Respectfully.
Listen,
Somebody asked me the same question.
I say this.
I said I wasn't the one sitting next to it. I was Brian.
But I failed chemistry in high school, so you know what I mean. I'm just saying, you know what I mean. That's my buddy, and that's all that is. You know what I mean.
Cool. Last one for these. Lisa Who from Chicago. She says, as fathers of daughters, have you had or will you have the conversation with your daughters about relationships and sex, or will you leave that responsibility to the mother?
I've already had some of them conversations.
Me too.
Yeah.
My conversation, I'm a kid.
He gonna kill you.
I'm gonna kill you, baby. If you having sex early, I'm gonna kill you and that.
Man, listen, my daughter, I ain't gonna lie, her mom,
Easy.
her and her mother's relationship is immaculate. So I kind of leave that in her. Now I'll give a few little drops here and there, like kind of how a man should treat you, or I show her, you know what I mean, to my wife and whatnot. You know what I mean, as far as like roses and other stuff like that, but. You know, as far as that conversation, it's a little.
My daughter 4, and I don't want to think about that yet.
I know that's right.
Yeah, see,
right. You got a long time.
Yeah, see, I got a 20 and a 13. I've been having these conversations.
Right.
Real talk.
But I mean, I didn't know what a promise ring was. My daughter told me. She was like, Dad, would you mind buying me a promise ring? And I'm like, what is a promise ring? She said, I promise to you that I won't have sex before my time.
Okay.
So, she still got that promise ring. My younger daughter lost her ring. So,
I'm trying to say something.
I'm going to call right after this podcast. I'm going to call her. See what's going on.
Raiche, can you give us any insight on that part of growing up and development at all? Possibly, was that a dad conversation? Was that a mom conversation? Is that a taboo topic coming from a woman?
Right. No, it was. My parents were definitely open about that, and I also had a promise ring myself. I don't know. It's definitely a lot different nowadays.
Right.
With social media too. Like I think kids are a little bit faster. A
lot
faster.
Social media raised the kids, right? Basically,
big facts,
really.
Big facts.
Yeah. So
it's different.
Definitely, I think should be more of a topic now than and really like. In-depth explaining, I know it can probably be extremely uncomfortable for you guys, but like, I don't know, I talk to my nieces and nephews and stuff too, like, kind of just in-depth and really real about it, like, because there's things that, don't have sex, like, you know what I'm saying? But no, there's like so many other little things that get tied around in it that you realize when you're older, so.
You're right.
Do you feel like it was a certain conversation that you had with your parents that set you on the right path? Or was it just all of them together?
I think it was the whole thing together too.
Because sometimes you're looking for the cheat sheet, like
and also,
how I get right to her. You know what I mean? To where what I say actually registers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So sometimes you're
I
looking
think
for
seeing it too, like, because I have older sisters and stuff, and like two of them had kids like at 16, and so I got to see like just what it could be like for me.
How hard it can be.
Yeah, how hard it really can be. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
Well, again, we just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Raiche, we want to thank you again.
No doubt.
Thank you.
Awesome. We're giving you roses right now.
Y'all support this young lady. Y'all support this young lady.
Please do.
Y'all check out Complicated coming soon. Y'all check out Pick a Side. Check out the videos for them. They dope. And y'all look for the album.
Yes.
You know,
Facts. And also, man, y'all look out for that new Jagged Edge album, man. The duets. It's coming real soon. Go get the last album.
And we trying to get Raiche on there, so
no
we let y'all
definitely. Let's work.
Yeah.
Let's work. I was gonna pitch that anyway, man. My brothers are some of the greatest writers in the world, man. We need a record, man. We need a record. We need a record ASAP. And
shout out to Vito, man. We just scheduled Vito to shoot the video in a couple weeks, so we gonna come with that Vito song first. It's dope.
Great record.
And
check out Jagged Love Story in stores right now. Check out the 4 videos. Also, the video with us, Lil Durk and No Cap. Check that out.
Us and Jacob Lattimore.
Check that out. And we appreciate y'all's support. This is week 7. We'll see y'all week 8. We love y'all.
Boom.
JE, y'all views on the edge.
Dope. That was fun.